Good morning, folks. It is a joy to be able to be with you this morning. I'm going to give just a few minutes for people to get logged in and with us here on this Wednesday morning. I am coming to you from another unique location in that it is a unique vantage point. But you will notice, if you know anything about the Associate Parsonage, that that's where we are today. I'm coming from the dining room area. And one of the things I wanted to draw your attention to was this painting right here. Some of you who follow me on Facebook probably know the story behind this painting, which I will show you in just a second. I got it at the auction barn, the Putney Auction Barn in town. They're doing online auctions for $2. It's crushed black velvet, hand-painted, handmade with a handmade jagged frame for $2. And I think it's such a shame that its worth was not seen, because I just want to show you this beautiful, beautiful rendition with these amazing bright neon colors on this crushed velvet 2 by 4 foot masterpiece of the Lord's Supper. It's just a beautiful rendition of the Lord's Supper with black disciples and a black Jesus, which I think is just a wonderful reminder of the breadth of the story and what the story of the liberating Jesus Christ means for so many. I think sometimes we can get, because of all of the imagery out there that feature white voices, white people, white Jesus, we can sometimes forget that not only was Jesus not white, but this story has meant something for people of all ethnicities, of all races, genders, of all types. This story is a liberating story, and by this story, I mean the story of Jesus saving, sanctifying, justifying, offering us new life and grace. And so I hope that is a blessing to you this morning. I want to share a scripture, and I want us to think about what it means to have sustenance in this time of turmoil, in this time of being commissioned. One of the things that Jesus commissioned the 12 to do, commissioning of the disciples, is to go from town to town, but also to go to certain places and to preach the gospel, to heal the sick, to feed the poor, to do all of these things. And I sometimes think we forget how exhausting a commission that probably had to have felt like. But in that commission of these disciples to go and do and be the hands and feet of Christ, there was also some instructions that Jesus gave about how they could take care of themselves in the process. And I want to read those that commission from Matthew 10 this morning and offer that to you as a reflection. So hearing from Matthew 10 verses 5 through 15 is where we'll stop. Hear these words. Jesus sent these 12 out and commanded them, "Don't go among the Gentiles or into a Samaritan city. Go instead to the lost sheep, the people of Israel. And as you go, make this announcement: the kingdom of heaven has come near. Heal the sick, raise the dead, cleanse those with sick diseases, and throw out demons. You have received without having to pay. Therefore give without demanding payment. Workers deserve to be fed. Don't gather gold, silver, or copper coins for your money belts or to take on to your trips. Don't take a backpack for the road, or 2 shirts, or sandals, or a walking stick. Whatever city or village you go into, find somebody in it that is worthy, and stay there until you go on your way. When you go on your way, or when you go into a house, say, 'Peace.' If the house is worthy, give it the blessing of your peace. But if the house isn't worthy, take back your blessing. If anyone refuses to welcome you or listen to your words, shake off the dust of your feet and leave that house or that city. I assure you that it will be more bearable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah on Judgment Day than it will be for that city. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. So again, thinking about this commission that Jesus gives his disciples, and in particular, this particular kind of commission, which is to spread the word of the Lord, to heal the sick, to go into these communities and to offer God's love, and remind them of God's presence in this world. I think there's also an admission that you don't need to bring extra things to distract you. You don't need to get caught up in people's reactions. If you find a house that will welcome you, stay there as long as you can, as long as you are welcome, and then leave and say goodbye and be on to the next. And then maybe the most challenging thing to do, I think right now, for us as we think about how to live this out, is to shake the dust off your feet. If someone doesn't welcome you, if someone doesn't agree with you, if someone does not give you that peace which you are to seek out, shake the dust off your feet and move on to the next house. You know, one of the things that has become increasingly aware to me as a pastor, but also just as a Christian who is white, is that I need to talk more and more and more about this kind of stuff, about race relations, about that hard work of how we as white folk are complicit in systemic racism. You know, the things we've been talking about and shouldn't stop talking about. Because that's central to who we are as Christians worshiping Jesus who came for all people. But the important part and the hard part in knowing we have to have those conversations is knowing that not everyone will listen or be on board. We maintain that humility so that people will hopefully listen, that we can have a conversation and people don't feel like they're being talked at. But ultimately, we will not always make friends in this difficult work. But Jesus asks us and commands us to shake the dust off our feet and move on. We take care to be in relationship with people. We take care to make sure that we are giving our time and attention to those that need to hear the words of love and life. But sometimes, to avoid being burnt out and stuck, we have to just move on. And I think that was Jesus' words of self-care. Don't get caught up in the stuff. Don't do this work for money that you're going to take on your trip, because this was given to you as a gift. Share it. And don't get saddled down by bad words and unwelcome guests and people. So, I hope that serves you this day, not only in this work of having conversations about race, but in general as we think about how we share God's love in this world, that we remember to take care of ourselves, that we remember not to take too much along for the journey that might distract us, and that we might remember that there are times when we have to move on to the next place. And so as you're moving to whatever place you're going next this day, I hope you would know that whether you are welcome or not, God's love is with you and God's peace rests upon you today and every day. Cherish that, love that, and spread that with joy. God's peace and love be with you this day. Amen.